Let's talk about sexual violence. In the next 5 minutes, learn how to make a difference in your community and challenge the culture of sexual violence. Sexual violence is a broad term that describes behaviors and actions that are sexual in nature and are unwanted, coerced, and committed without consent. This includes words, both written and spoken. It can include a variety of acts and experiences and may also be known as sexual assault, rape, sexual abuse, exploitation, incest, date rape, and human trafficking. Sexual violence exists on a continuum and includes a broad range of behaviors and impacts. This continuum includes things like sexist media and advertising, such as impossible beauty standards, rigid gender norms, and hypersexualization, or victim blaming, like saying, "What were you wearing? You shouldn't have walked alone at night," or "That's just the way it is." Sharing or sending nudes without consent, intimate partner violence, and sexual harassment, such as catcalling. Some of these behaviors are normalized within our community and are part of a culture of sexual violence. Sexual violence most often happens between people who know each other. Sexual violence is never the fault of the survivor. Do you think anyone would ever choose to be sexually assaulted? People of all genders, races, ages, sexual orientations, ability, and class backgrounds can experience sexual violence, and anyone can cause harm. However, certain groups are targeted at higher rates. This includes cis and trans racialized and indigenous women, women with disabilities, low-income women, women with addictions, and queer and non-binary people. Sexual violence is connected to inequity. Sexual violence is not about sex. It's about power. Consent has to be freely given. If you use a position of power or some other way to manipulate and coerce someone to force a yes, that is a big no. And sexual violence is not just about individual actions between two people, but also the systemic factors that cause some people to have more social power than others. Interpersonal and social power differences affect someone's risk of being targeted for sexual violence. People with more access to social power and unearned privilege based on their identity are more likely to cause harm. Sexual violence is 100% preventable, but we need to work together to do it. How can we challenge the culture of sexual violence and create a culture of consent instead? Listen, believe, and support survivors. Trust when someone says something wasn't okay, it wasn't okay. Ending sexual violence and rape culture is about people taking responsibility for the harm they have caused. It's about accountability, and we don't need to cancel people to hold them accountable. We need to examine our own beliefs and question the sexist, racist, ableist, and otherwise harmful messages we encounter in pop culture, in our families, and in our communities. It's about asking for consent, respecting boundaries, and not making assumptions about other people's wants and needs. There is as much unlearning to do as there is learning to do about consent and sexual violence. Do your part, but you don't have to do this alone. Have conversations with your friends. Take workshops. Listen to advocacy groups and experts. Learn more about consent and what resources are available for survivors by visiting our website, trentu.ca/sexual violence. We care about consent at Trent.